There's a guy outside with his dog watching me film. And he's kind of cute. I'll get closer. Oh my god, he's right there. Shh! Don't. Hey, you're gonna draw attention. Oh yeah, he's cute. He's so cute. He came right up here. That was quite ballsy of him, I must say. We could have been a fan then. Well, hello! Wow, that was weird. Hey, what's up? And welcome back to my channel for today's video. I am doing a plan with me for November. I'm really excited about today's video, solely because I have been waiting for November for what feels like a very long time. Honestly, November feels like such a fresh start for some reason. November feels like, I don't know why, but this November and planning for this November feels eerily similar to the same feeling I had when I was planning for like January last year. All I really want to do right now is zone in on doing things that just make me feel me and make me feel excited. And I had so many just good ideas pop up over the last like couple of weeks of things that I really want to start working on. Just stuff that I wanted to plan out and goals that I wanted to plan out. So I did all of that in my bullet journal and I decided to film it with you guys. I've been getting more and more into the whole bullet journal thing. I actually picked up, so 2018 was a big journaling year for me and I actually ran out of pages in my old journals. So when I went to go pick up my new one, I decided to pick up two. And lately I've been really getting into the bullet journals. So I picked up the same line journal that I pretty much had before and I've already been just like sappily writing out all my feels in here. That candle's like really loud. Priorities. As I was saying, when I was in Montreal, I decided to pick up a new journal and a new bullet journal, and I've been really getting into the bullet journal lately. I think the best thing that I did when I picked this one up is I stopped trying so hard to kind of like fill it perfectly. And anytime, even just late at night, some of the entries I have in here are just straight up pen. I always creep really cool bullet journals and all that stuff, and I'm so mesmerized by the people that make theirs beautiful, but some of mine are literally just like straight up pen. So when it came to planning out November, I've been doing a lot more of my planning online. I've been doing a lot more of my planning on my laptop. I use like my notes, my calendar on there, and now my virtual assistant Zoe fills in my calendar for me. So it's just like everything I need is always on my computer, but there's always going to be a part of me that is like a pen to paper kind of gal. There's something about being able to flush something out on a piece of paper that makes me feel like I can grasp it more or understand it more or even just feel more enthusiastic about it. I decided to do exactly that for November. So much to look forward to this month. I have a trip to London coming this month, and then Larissa and I might go to New York for a weekend. I'm just really excited. And I'm gonna have all so much of my free time open back up. And the projects that I'm ready, I've mapped out to work on. Let's get to it though, because I feel like I've been rambling. So I couldn't start a bullet journal or a plan with me without a cover page, so I decided to make one for November. I tried to keep it just kind of minimal, you know, made it just black and white saying November, and then I had like winter tree branches coming out from it. And then I just put a little mini calendar underneath. Then I screwed up the page in between, so I taped it together. And moved on to the second page, which is my Think Big game plan. My idea behind this spread was pretty much to plan out the 3 main goals that I wanted to focus on and then 2 secondary kind of background goals that I'm not necessarily focusing on, but they're on my radar, you know? I decided to keep things very separated in terms of like my soul and my dream. The soulful me is the me that isn't work, and the dream me is the more business side of me. We'll come back to this in terms of filling it out, but just to give you guys an idea of the whole layout that I actually did. So the next page I decided to just make it brainstorm pages. I've talked to you guys before about brainstorms. I wish I had a way to make this look prettier. Maybe with time and practice with bullet journaling, I'll find a way. But realistically, all this page needed to be was just, again, a breakdown between the soul side and the dream side of me, and the types of things that I feel like kind of go under each category. So on my soul side, I decided to write things down like health, reading, fashion, yoga, environment, veganism, wellness, art and creation, because those are all things that I like to focus on for me. Those are all things that I just genuinely enjoy doing. And then on the dream side, I decided to write more business related things like codes and my podcast and traveling and getting to do experiences with work and working on my blog, my new upload schedule, the books that I'm writing and things like that. So that's a little bit more like to the point goal, whereas this is a bit more like value based. And then underneath all of them, I kind of put point forms of just ideas or points that just are related to whatever that dream is. So for my blog, I know that I want to do a relaunch, which is coming really soon. I want to write like weekly posts and that I would love to be a month ahead. This is literally a page where you can just write down whatever comes to your brain. You don't really filter yourself. It's just any idea, any brainstorm. You let your brain storm things up and you just write it down, anything that's relative. And then I just sectioned it off with clouds to make it easier to kind of, you know, pick out which one I needed to look at. I decided to make a section for my vision, my values, and my inspiration. So the vision and values thing, it's something that is from the book that I'm reading right now called Wherever You Go, There You Are. Having a vision and having values are like the two things that when you're mindful and when you meditate, you can kind of reconnect to those vision and those values on a daily basis, which will keep you a more happy path or just even a more wholesome path. And that just really resonated with me for some reason. Inspiration could be quotes, inspiration can be anything, any kind of mood, any kind of vibe that I'm feeling, anything that I'm pulling inspiration from. And then on the other page, I decided to do my memories and my moods. Throughout the month, if I have a memory or if I have like a mood or a vibe that I just feel like capturing in case I ever decide to look back on these when I'm old, it'll be just like cool to remember. Moods could even be like songs that I'm loving or shows that I'm into. Just mood is like whatever I'm currently doing, and memories are like memories that I've made. This is getting redundant. Let me move on. This is where my brainstorm came into play because vision would be anything dream related and value would be anything soul related. So when I was filling this out, I took a look at my brainstorm, which made it super easy to then say, okay, my vision right now and the things that I really want to be like zoning in on and focusing on in terms of business is this, and my values that I want to carry along with me and things that are going to be important to me as I zone in on those like goals and those dreams are going to be this. And so the next page I decided to do my daily routine and my daily focus. So my daily routine is something I actually had already written out in this bullet journal the other night. I decided to just rewrite it with you guys just to show you basically how I've been scheduling my on and my off time for working at home. I've always been trying to perfect the balance of when I should be working and when I shouldn't be working and what is work and what isn't work because it is so heavily intertwined for me. Mapping out just like a brief routine, it's something that I think is just so embedded into who I am as a person from growing up and going to school and going to high school and just being conditioned that way. This makes life just a little bit more easy for me. Starting at 9, I do my emails and I have an hour of just computer work. And then from 10 to 3, I'm filming or I'm editing or I'm out doing things. There's a guy outside with his dog watching me film. And he's kind of cute. Oh, his dog! It's like one of those little golden doodlies. Where are you going, sir? Anyway, at 3 p.m. I take my lunch break, and then back at 4 I worked from usually like 4 till around 7. This isn't super rigid by any means. This is just to give me a little bit of structure to look at if I'm ever like, what should I be doing right now? Or should I be taking a break right now? Or can I work another 2 hours and hold off and take my break at 3, you know? Having a schedule like this is what pretty much makes it so that I actually get things done in terms of my stress and my anxiety, because it's like, oh, okay, by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, I'm checked out of work, like I'm done. Mind you, I haven't been in the sense of YouTober, but the minute YouTober is done, I won't be editing at night anymore. So it'll actually go back to a normal routine, and I feel like this is going to be so important for November. And then I also decided to just kind of point form exactly what each little section entails. So when I say like film or go edit outside somewhere, I have to kind of go somewhere during 10 to 3. Like I need to get out of the house, I need to go and be around other human beings, I need to be around other energy, even if it's just in a library or in a cafe, get out from 10 to 3 and then come back at 3. And then if I have to do more computer work, which I usually do from 4 to 7, that work can be done here, like in my office or just at home. But that's like another huge goal of mine for November, is to take that 10 to 3 chunk, and if I'm not filming, or even if I am filming, like vlogging or whatever, like just go do things, like schedule to do things during that time that gets me out of the house, because especially with the winter months coming and it being darker and, you know, we're less likely to push ourselves to kind of get out in the colder times. I feel like now I have to kind of remind myself to do that, or else I can unintentionally hermit and end up going a little stir crazy. So that's why I wrote that down. The other side, this is gonna be the new thing I do instead of weekly spreads. So weekly spreads, they kind of stress me out a little bit. Like the to-do list thing has really been messing with my head in the sense that it started to become this daily pressure of anxiety of like what my to-do list was, because it was getting just so out of hand. And one of the things that my counselor told me was to try and focus on 3 things a day, and that's it. Let those 3 things be the the things that as long as you get those done, everything else is just kind of like extra, so that your day doesn't seem so daunting. So I wrote down for November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then basically instead of writing like a weekly spread, I just do what 3 things I need to do following this routine. So if this is my routine of the day, what 3 things do I want to get done during the big sections of work, you know? So if I have to film, or if I have to record a podcast, or if I have an appointment that day, or if I have a whatever, those need to be like my 3 main goals of the day to get done. And then once I'm past November 7th, I can keep making more, or I might switch up the layout of this, but I'm gonna try this one out for now, and I can show you guys the end result of me filling all of these in. And then last but not least, the final spread I decided to do was my upload schedule. So my upload schedule is going to change once YOUTOBER is over, obviously. I'm gonna be testing a new schedule that I mapped out, and if it all works out, basically from now until 2019, I feel like it's gonna be like a trial period on my channel, and then whatever sticks is gonna be like the whole new, brand new routine going into 2019. The schedule that I'm gonna be trying for November is a 3 upload day schedule, but my upload schedule isn't just videos anymore. I have a day where I upload podcasts, and now I have my blog relaunch where I'm gonna have a day that I'm uploading a blog post as well. I put down the full weeks, like week of November 11th to 17th, which is going to be the first week that videos are back, week November 18th to 24th, and each day in there what actually goes live on which day. I think the only days that nothing's going up is like Tuesdays and Thursdays. On this side, I put a little cloud at the top and brainstorm, because ultimately my idea is that each week will have a theme. And when I'm brainstorming what the content is going to be for this week, I kind of want everything to be cohesive within the week. So the blog posts, the podcasts, the videos, all of that. I'm not very artistic. You know when, like, what was it, Mr. Dress Up, when he's drawing the house and he's like, I'm not very good at it, but that's okay. I feel like that's me with bullet journaling, since I'm still so new to the whole thing. But I feel like the more and more I get into it, the more I'm starting to discover that Sharpies bleed through, that I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, and just different layouts and stuff that I can have fun with until I finalize a way that just works for me. I feel like I'm gonna end up being like one of those minimalist bullet journalers, you know? This took me about an hour to fill out all of those layouts, but for that 1 hour of time, that's pretty sick for the amount of like scheduling and planning and mapping out now that I have done for November. So I do think that that is worth the time, but anything more than an hour, I feel like I would have just been like, no, I'm done. The Think Big game plan, I decided to give you guys a couple examples on how I plan on filling this in. So this is basically my overview for the big goals that I'm working on for November. So it's not just about like my daily focus and my upload schedule, but like what are the bigger things that are also going on as an overall theme or bigger picture for my life. Soul-wise, I decided to put one of the big things that I really, really want to do just for me and my soul, meditate every single day. So inside there, I put that morning meditation, reading, or journaling can count as a square filled, and then I put 30 squares for the month of November. So each day that I meditate, I fill in a square. And then on the business side, I did my blog relaunch. So instead of doing a tracker for this that was daily, I decided to put each goal or each kind of like action item that I need to do into a square, and then once that action item is done, you just color in the square, and then once the full block is filled, that goal is complete. And then secondary goals are the ones that I did on the bottom. On the bottom, I wrote that I wanted to read 2 books in the month of November, a fiction and a nonfiction, and then I just squared that off and then filled in the nonfiction about a third, because I'm already about a third of the way through the nonfiction that I'm reading right now. For the December plan with me, I have a feeling it'll be another bullet journaling one, so if you guys have any requests of more things you want me to bullet journal or layouts that I can try and do, let me know down below. But 2, if you guys also want to see the end results at the end of November of all of that filled in, let me know and I can definitely do that. Thus completes my new kind of journaling and planning system for November. I also, when I had my journal out, I had my tarot reading card that I pulled. It's the bat. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I pulled the bat recently in a vlog too. So I feel like this is super freaking symbolic in the sense that 1, it's Halloween and like the bat, but also 2, the bat is all about starting a whole new chapter of your life and just like letting go of the darkness and like waking up to the sunlight and just being like free like a bat, you know? So I feel like this is such a mood for me right now. Just putting in some like fun work on Catcher now and just all the new things that I get to like plant seeds for that are gonna start to sprout in 2019. So I'm excited to start gardening. Let me know down below if you guys planned out your November. If you did, what are your big goals? What are all the stuff that you're doing? Do you bullet journal? Do you not bullet journal? Do you plan your stuff out online? Would you guys want to see that? Me planning stuff online? Like my whole scheduling system is being tweaked right now, but I'm digging it because I feel like it's starting to solidify in a whole new productive type of way. And other than that, I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.